The next day, things on the branch line ran as normal. Thomas, Toby and Daisy took passengers, while Percy was shunting in the yard. The branch line was getting more busier as the week went on, as the summer season progressed. Thomas soon had to do some yard shunting, while Percy took over in pulling his coaches. Toby and Percy were sent to take some stone trucks from the quarry down to Wellsworth, where Edward was to take it to the docks. As they watched the train depart, the subject on Timothy began to play on their minds again. Thomas, on the other hand, continued on taking passenger services and workmen to locations that needed repairing. By the time the week had gone, the engines were totally exhausted. Some days later, Percy was making his way back home. He followed the same shortcut, passing Crow's Farms crossing and going through green signals. Just then he saw Toby in a siding by a signal box and came to a stop.
Hey Toby, what are you doing out here at this time of evening?
I've been here for hours. The points are jammed so I can't go anywhere. My driver's calling for help and a group of workmen are coming to mend the failed points.
The old tram engine suddenly noticed that the mist was rolling in quite faster than usual. The moonlight's bright light from above was starting to become blocked.
My word, what unpleasant weather this is.
Suddenly, he and Percy heard a whistle from another engine, which was coming from the darkness ahead of them. It was then heard again, followed by an echoing voice.
Children! Children!
Bless my bell. It can't be.
I like children. I like children.
Then they saw the shape of an engine silhouetting in the mist. They couldn't see the mysterious engine's face, but it was certain that it was the evil spirit of Timothy.
My reign of horror will never end. My wrath will be felt. And one by one, all of you will be sent to your graves. And then he will be mine and will join me in hell.
Timothy shot forward, shrieking out loudly. Percy and Toby quickly caught a glimpse of his sadistic face. They shut their eyes as they anticipated a crash. total silence fell. Percy opened his eyes first, then Toby. They looked around, but no one was there. Timothy had vanished.
So, that was Timothy.
Yes, Toby, it was.
News of the encounter of Timothy's ghost soon spread down the line. But Percy and Toby were not the only ones who had caught sight of him. During the weekend, witnesses who were waiting for Thomas's evening train claimed to have seen Timothy, mostly scaring them and their children, as well as station staff and workmen. Something was happening, and it seemed that less and less people were starting to come onto the branch line and take the main line instead. Rumours began to spread, until one day, Toby was told about the rumour. Later that evening, the old tram engine explained all this to Percy.
Looks like your driver was right about the story of Timothy. The branch line has lost many visitors. It looks like Timothy's ghost has been scaring them away. The driver says he comes running through the darkness as a warning to others. But what's with the warning? Who is he after, and what's his purpose in haunting our line? Oh, that makes me shudder to think of it.
Oh my goodness! If the story that my driver's mentioned is true, then all this time we've been running the branch line that has been haunted after all this time with an evil ghost that he never heard of.
Fine rain fell, with a slight hear of thunder and lightning. For the rest of the night, it rained, and it would continue to do so for a couple of days. However, Thomas began to think about the story of Timothy, for it had been playing on his mind for some time. The little blue engine was now lost with questions he wanted answering, but there was a part of him that made him not to believe in all this.
I was once told about it, but I never believed it. I thought it was some made-up tale to play in our minds. However, we were wrong.
So the story really is true?
I can't be sure, but if this ghost story is, and that this incident about our engine who had a similar appearance like you then
what? Are you trying to say that Timothy is somehow related to me?
For the rest of the afternoon, Thomas quietly worked and said nothing to anyone. The thought of thinking that Timothy was a more darker form of himself soon overwhelmed him until it made him ill. Edward took him to the works to be looked at, while Toby and Percy did most of the works alone. Several weeks had passed, and there seemed to be no more signs of Timothy's evil spirit. But as the old saying goes, this was just the calm before the storm.
The future generations that live on this island don't even know who I am or know of my existence. If those who do remember me have either chosen or forgotten, or even refuse to even remember me, I'll force them to.